Pool coping is the capstone that goes around the edge of every in-ground pool, and it separates the pool from the patio around it. There's a ton of options to choose from in this day and age, but typically they are all made from 4 different materials. 1, concrete, whether it's poured concrete or in a paver/block form. The second is ceramic brick. The third is porcelain, and the fourth is natural stone. Poured concrete is always the cheapest, and concrete pavers and ceramic pavers are the second cheapest. Porcelain is a little more expensive than those, and natural stone is the most expensive. One thing concrete paver, ceramic brick, porcelain, and natural stone have in common is that you have to pour a concrete footing around the entire pool for the coping stones to be adhered down onto, which is what I'm doing now. We are pouring this concrete on top of our clean 3/4 inch crushed base stone, and we're adding metal rebar reinforcement into the middle of the concrete to add strength. This footing is the most important part of the pool coping installation process because you can't just lay these coping stones on your base stone and not expect failure in the future. And the footing that we're pouring, we want to be about 1/4 to 3/8 of an inch lower than the edge of the pool that the coping will be resting on. That's going to give us the space we need for a specialized mortar to adhere the coping stones down onto the concrete. You can see that copper wire mesh within the concrete. That is grounding wire, and it's code around my area for every in-ground pool that's going to be done with pavers. This footing is about 18 inches wide and is wide enough for the coping to be adhered onto it and leave about 6 inches past the coping for the first row of pavers to rest on and prevent any sinking or shifting to where the coping will be higher or lower than the pavers around it. That's really important because there's so many pool patios out there where the pavers or the brick or the concrete that meets the coping ends up being different heights because of the way the ground moves. One possible difference with how wide your concrete footing needs to be is if you have a cover for the pool that's going to be a safety cover and needs anchor points for the cover to hook onto, you may need to make this footing 3 to 4 feet wide so that when you go to install those anchor points for the safety cover, it has something underneath the surface to grab a hold of and drill into. We didn't have to do that for this pool because the customer spent a lot of money on a very well designed pool cover that is built into the sides of the pool, so there'll be no need for anchor points to secure the cover down to. So the only thing we have to worry about with this footing is the concrete coping being adhered onto it and the first row of pavers to kind of sit on the edge of it. Now, if you're a homeowner watching this because you're trying to price out a in-ground pool project of your own and you're kind of wondering what the difference is with all the materials and the prices, I think the number one thing you have to ask yourself is, are you going for pure affordability, or do you want something that's quality and that's going to last a long time without issues? The thing that I see a lot is people trying to save money by going with the poured concrete route, and you save a lot of money. But the thing is, when concrete cracks or shifts or gets messed up, you can't repair that in a way that it will look the same as it did when you got it installed. The good thing about pavers or natural stone or porcelain is if something sinks, shifts, or breaks, you can fix that issue and still have it look the same, because you can pick the materials up and relay them. Even stamped concrete. When you do stamped concrete and it cracks or a section breaks and you have to replace it, you'll never be able to pour that stamped concrete to make it look like the other stuff that's been there already. So if you're thinking about going with the poured concrete or stamped concrete route, just know that that risk of cracking and shifting is a lot higher than using pavers or porcelain or natural stone. The reason being is because they're poured in bigger squares per se. When pouring concrete and making relief joints, the sections are typically bigger. So when the ground does shift a little bit, they're more prone to cracking and shifting because they're bigger pieces. Pavers with polymeric sand or some other jointing sand in between allow for slight movement up and down. They can settle and shift back and forth into place without causing as much damage as a poured concrete option. So the money you end up saving going with the poured concrete route can end up biting you in the end, because if you have to fix it or repair it, you may end up being up to the same cost as going with the pavers or natural stone route to begin with. And if you're making such a big investment into your property that you can enjoy for a lot of years to come, you don't want to be seeing cracks and things shifted and moving within the first few years of having it. It can really take away from a nice, beautiful pool patio area when you see that kind of stuff. And again, even if a few portions of your pool patio with pavers, sinks, or shifts, it's very cheap and easy to have someone come in, pick the pavers up, re-level it, and relay them. So now that we got the concrete footing poured and we scratched the top of it so that there's more texture for the mortar to adhere to, we're ready to start at the corner of our pool in this situation because we have a rectangle. We want to start at a corner. So the specific coping we're using is made by Teco Block called Bullnose Grande. It's a polished and grinded type of concrete coping. The grinding gives it a good look and it exposes the aggregate, but it also makes it less slippery by giving it a little bit of texture. And the color tone is called Grade Nickel. So I'm going to cut two pieces at a 45-degree angle to make a nice starting point. From there I can go both directions off the corner and go a few pieces at a time. The way that I'm installing this can be applied to any paver, brick, porcelain, or natural stone coping option. As you can see, the edge of the pool is what we're using to rest the coping onto. When using poured concrete and you want to have it appear like it is overhanging the pool, there's aluminum edging with whatever finish you want applied to the edge of the pool so you can pour concrete into that edge, and after the concrete sets and hardens, you take that aluminum edging off and it'll leave you with the exposed concrete facing out. Whether it be a regular bullnose or a natural stone textured look, there's a lot of different options when it comes to poured concrete pool coping. Like a ton, just as much as pavers or natural stone. Especially with how much the concrete industry is starting to take off, there's a lot of different form options to make concrete look like natural stone. So they are getting a lot better and a lot more creative if you do want to go that poured concrete route. I'm not going to knock that. There's a lot of guys out there that do excellent concrete work and their jobs are a lot less likely to fail or crack than other concrete contractors. So if you do end up going with the concrete route or stamped concrete route, my biggest piece of advice is to do a lot of research in your area as to who is the best concrete contractor, because just like the hardscape industry, there's a lot of contractors that aren't experienced or that just want to get in and out of projects as quick as possible, and there's a lot that are very into quality and accept nothing less. So something you have to pay attention to when getting estimates from these contractors is, one, how they're going to complete the job from base prep to finishing. Not all contractors are the same. You really need to look into reviews and social media and see the kind of work that they have done and see if there's any complaints about having to come back and fix things that they have done. And that same thing goes for a hardscape contractor that's going to do either pavers or natural stone for you. Not all those contractors are created equally. You need to do some research into their reviews and their social media and take your time choosing a contractor, because it could save you thousands of dollars in the end. But like I said, we use a specialized mortar to adhere these coping pieces down onto, and there's a lot of manufacturers out there that make this type of mortar. But the one that I'm using is made by Ardex, and it's called X32. It's specifically made for horizontal applications like pool coping or stair treads. Using a specialized mortar like this can add years to a project and can really prevent the bond from breaking between the footing and the coping stone. Again, you don't want to cheap out on projects like this. You use cheap materials and cheap mortar, the more likely it is that your project's going to fail. Doing the job properly at the beginning is always the cheapest way to go. Another thing to note is you want your coping pieces sloped backwards away from the pool to keep any surface water from running into the pool. All pool patios should be that way so that if anything bad were to spill onto the patio, it wouldn't wash into the pool. With this being a rectangle pool, it's pretty straightforward install. There's a lot of curved and circular pools out there where an install like this would be a lot more difficult. And what you would end up having to do is doing a lot more cuts. And you would probably want to buy smaller in length pool coping pieces, meaning not as long, so that you can cut them and shape them to fit around the curves better. That would be the main difference between this pool and one that's a little bit more curved or circular. it would be a lot more cutting, and the installation time would be a lot more. So your price will be a lot more expensive for a curved or circular pool than a square or rectangle, which is why a lot of times poured concrete is the option people go with, because the price difference is huge. But even though poured concrete or stamped concrete is cheaper, in my opinion, you will never match the look of a nice paver, brick, or natural stone pool coping and patio. Stamped concrete was designed to look like those options, but it never looks just like it. You can always tell that it's stamped concrete. I hope this video answered a lot of your questions about pool coping. If you want to go to my main channel and see a lot longer, more in-depth videos of how we installed this pool patio, there's a link in the description below, and you'll be able to find a playlist for all the videos from this project. But let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you have any questions, I'd love to try to answer them for you. I hope you enjoyed this video. Hit that like button if you did. Subscribe for a lot more content like this. But until the next one, God bless. Peace.